Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the session, and we'll begin in a couple of minutes. Good evening, Sachin. Good evening to the class. Okay, so so thank you all. Thank you for joining the session, and I appreciate that. Okay, so let's begin now. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate you joining the session. So today we're going to talk about the master data and the documents. So what is the master data in SAP? So the important word here is master data. So how do we handle the master data? Okay, master data, and what kind of master data we have in SAP, and what kind of documents we have in SAP. So that is what we're going to talk about. So at the end of this topic, we will understand what is customer master record, and then we will also understand what is the concept of the master data is. So that is what, these are the two things we will understand: concept of master data, and then how can we create and change a document. So we're going to create a document. So document basically means sales order is a document, purchase order is a document, sales quotation is a document, vendor invoice is a document, customer invoice is a document. So how do we do that? So that also we will talk about. Now, let us understand what is the master data concept. In the master data concept, we can have different master data. So we have a business partner. Now, what is the business partner? The business partner is a partner in your business. So your customer is your business partner. Vendor is your business partner. So in SAP, we have different business partners. So if you see my screen, here are different business partners which you can have in SAP. So in the business partner concept, if I go to business partner, and then we can see the business partner, all business partners are divided into three categories: customer, vendors, and the leads. If I search, I can search any customer master. I put a star and hit enter. And then we can see all our customers. We have these are all my customers and vendors which are there in the standard SAP system. I'm unable to listening. So there is a chat box. So there is a audio option. In the audio option, there is a computer audio. So if you choose computer audio, then you can select computer audio. And then you can hear my voice. Make sure that you have, see my screen. Now this is the maximum zoom I can do. I cannot do anything more than that. So that is unfortunately maximum zoom I can do. Okay, so here we have a master data concept. So here we can have a business partner, we can have items, and so here business partner. Now, a couple of important things which I would like you guys to make a note. What is the master data? And see that reusable chunk of data is called master data. In SAP, we have different type of master data. We have different type of data in SAP. In SAP, we have a following type of data. We have a organization data. We have a configuration data. Make a note of it. So we have configuration data, organization data, master data, transactional data, and the last is reporting data. These are of the type of the data which we can have in SAP. These are the following type of data. We will talk about all of them. And there is a hierarchy into it. So there is what is the configuration data, what is the organization data, what is master data, what is transactional data, and what is the reporting data we can have in the SAP system. We are talking about master data. Now, one of the things which is very important we heard here is in the master data, that is called reusable chunk of data, reusable. So master data is reusable chunk of data. For example, you have a customer, you have a vendor, you have items, you have leads. So what happens is all this data is used repetitively. You can use these data again and again and again and again. So I haven't received any invite for today's training. Okay, you should have a chat, right? You should have checked. I emailed myself. People cannot even check in the well in the time. Means middle of the class, you know. Hold on, guys. Is so, guys. One thing with very important. Good evening. Um, I have a few protocols for the class. Few protocols for class. I will always start class on time. I will never be late. Never. Never means never. I will never, ever, ever be late. Check class invites, etc. during the day. If not received, email us. Many times, email to bulk, etc. So sometimes mail goes to the bulk, and all those different things happen. So if you have not received the email, then make sure during the day check it. They are supposed they send it in the beginning of the day. At 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you have not got it. Basically, email them. Make sure that you have invite. And okay. So this is disturbance to the class. So I don't like this people calling and mailing and all that. And um, so people are during the class, it is very disturbance for me. It is very disturbing when people join and asking for that, and it's very disturbing. Join 5 minutes before. Join class 5 to 10 minutes before. So, so just do that. Okay, so now I'm coming back to my master data class, so we can talk to the concepts where I got people. So master data is the data which is used multiple times. So that is called, this is a reusable chunk of data, reusable. Customer, I'm working with a customer again and again. I'm working with a vendor again and again. I'm selling this item again and again. I'm purchasing this item again and again. Lead basically means prospect, who is not our customer yet. So that is called lead. So that is called lead. And that is the concept of master data. Okay. Now, if you see here my screen, I'm in SAP. So this is business partner master data. If you go to item, I have item master data. I can create different kind of items. So you see that business partners, and then we see items. So here we have a business partner master data. So this is a business partner master data. Okay. So in business partner master data, we can create different kind of business partners. So that we can do in the SAP. Customers, vendors, suppliers, and different kind of master data we can create in the SAP. Okay. Then we have a different kind of items. So these are the different kind of items, and then we can define different kind of items, etc. We're going to create also. We're going to create our own vendor. We're going to create our own items. We're going to create our own customers. We will also be using our existing records as well. There are 3 types of business partners. Okay. So now look at this here carefully. So there are 3 types of customer master or business partners. The first, customers. Second, vendors. Third, leads. Customer with whom we are doing the selling. So we are buying the whom we are selling the product to. That is called customer. Vendors, where we are purchasing item. Leads, which are my prospects, which is not yet my customer. That is the lead. and they are the master record for that. Now, how the master record look like? So if I go to business partner, this is a business partner master data. And here, this is the screen which opens up. I select from the drop down and I can choose a customer. So anything is starting with a C means customer. Normally, that is a protocol, but it doesn't need to be that way. So if I select the customer, this is my customer master. In the customer master, this is the customer code. So this code C003, this is my customer. This is the name of customer. This is manufacturer. He in the Indian rupees, telephone number, email, shipping type, all that information. Sales employee Lata. What is contact person? You can define the contact person is Buddha Suraj. He's there. Where he sits in. What is his address? All these different addresses we can define. Different payment we can define. So here we have different payment terms, 30 days, 60 days, we can define in SAP. This is his bank. So his house bank, the bank information. Accounting information. So if he's the business partner, the information is structured by the tabs. So this is a general tab. This is a contact person. This is addresses. This is payment terms. This is payment run. This is accounting. And all that information we can enter in the system. So this is an example of a business partner master data. So this is business partner master data, which we can have in the SAP. Okay. Okay. And then we close it. Now we can also have a vendor master. If I select the vendor, the same screen. If I want to go back here, if we select, we can also have vendors. This is information about vendor. Okay. These are the vendor. So we have, make a note of that we have a three kind of a partner data. We have customers, we have vendors, and we have lead. Okay, that is what we do in the SAP. Now, how do I find the master data? So finding master data. So you can create master data. Okay. So we can define different kind of master data. In the master data, we can have a different kind of, how do we find? Okay, let's see that. So one way, we have gone to business partner master data and we can find information. Second, for example, I go to sales order. And if this is the sales order screen, and everywhere you will see this button. When you click on this button, it gives me list of vendors. So list of all my customers appears here. It's very simple. If I want to see if I go to purchase order, here, and if I select all my vendors, I get all my vendors. Okay. So we can get all my vendors. That is what we can do. Can we modify master data? Yes, we can modify master data. We can always modify master data. So that is how we can find list of, you can get a list of business partners, you can get a list of items also. So if you go back here in inventory, so this is the list of This is the list of items. Now, how do you find it? Okay, let me go back again. How do you find it? So we have inventory. So this is item master data. In the item master data, we have a list of item master. And when you go here, I put star and then I hit enter. Then these are all different items. This is item number, item description, in stock, item group. Okay. So these are list of items and the list of vendors. Can customer code be modified? Yes. Any data can be modified. Any record, any master data can be modified. Business partner data, customer master data, item master data, all of them can be modified. Okay. So any master data. So that is okay. So there is the finding master data. Can we copy? Yeah, we can create. We'll do the all these transactions. First, focus what I'm doing here is yes, you can create, you can copy, you can upload, you can do master upload. Okay. Now another thing is configuration data. Make a note of that term. Take pen and paper. That is called configuration data. Configuration data. In SAP, we can configure different type of data. Now, what is the configuration data? And how do we find out the configuration data? Zoom what? What do you, no, this is a limit I can zoom. I cannot zoom more than this. configuration data. Yeah, you have this. You can open. You can open this. I have given this document to you guys, so you can open this sheet with you. Okay. So each of you has this document, and you cannot read every because this font is small. So you have this document. You can open from there. You should have access. Talk to our team, and they will provide you access to this PDF. Okay. So configuration data. Now, what is the example of a configuration data? So configuration data, you can configure a lot of different kind of data. If you see here, let's say I want to go to business partner. So here, if I go back and I go to payment term, for example, if you see the payment term, and now I have here payment term called 60 days. So this is the payment term 60 days. If I go to payment term, yep. Check your audio. If my voice is not, then check your audio, please. So it's payment term here. If you see the payment term and you see the yellow button, there's a yellow button, there's a yellow button, there is a yellow button. So wherever you see this yellow mark, that basically means those things can be configured. So let's say I have a payment term, 60 days. Yeah. If I want to configure a new term, I can configure, you see the define new, so you can define a new entry. Okay. I have here the dunning payment. So I want to define a new dunning. So everywhere, anywhere I see this yellow mark, that is basically configurable for me. I go to payment run. Here I want to define a bank. So I see yellow button here and I can define a new bank. So wherever I have this yellow mark, I want to define some GL account. I want to define, so anywhere you have this yellow mark, that basically means that entity is configurable. So those things can be configured. Okay. Yeah, you should not watch on mobile. You should watch it on laptop. So please make sure that you are using laptop and you are working on the laptop, not on the mobile phone, because mobile phone would be very small. So please make sure that you have laptop and you're logging from the laptop, because this would be okay. So that is called configuration data. So configuration data is also called setup data. Okay, setup data. For example, payment term, bank information, etc. And how do we recognize that is a configuration data? That there is a yellow mark. We go back here. If you go to business partner master data, and here we have yellow mark. And that is how we recognize that this is a, we're going to create some customer, we're going to create some item, we're going to create some vendor, we're going to create some exercise also in the system. Okay. So for example, let us say I want to do an exercise. Okay. So let's do our first exercise. So I want to create an exercise of creating a new item master data. So we're creating a new item master data. So how do we create a new master data? So we want to learn and create a new master data in SAP, a simple transaction. So in SAP Business One, how can we create a new master data? Okay. So now go to SAP. Now, if I want to create item master, so I go to inventory. This is item master data. I click on this item master data. Okay. So system opens up this. Now, when system opens up it, then by default, this is in display mode. You can't enter anything here. So what you do, the very first thing you should do when you go to, let's say, item A, and you can hit Control A. So when you go, we hit Control A. When I hit Control A, then it allows me to do new entry. So make a note of that term called Control A. So if we come back here, so let's say I go to item master. So this item master, and this is in display mode. By default, it comes in display mode. I hit Control A. Now it comes into the new mode. Now when I'm entering item, so here I have item group. You see that an item group is also yellow mark. So item group is also configurable. I can drop down, and when I go to drop down, then I can select what kind of item it is. So I say, this is my item FG, means finished good. Okay. So this is my finished good. Then I have here my item. So what item I'm buying? Okay. So my company is handling the a component. So it is a it could be any electronic item, it could be whatever item. So I have something called automotive component. I can put whatever description I want. Then I can put in a item code. If I want to select item code, I can select item code also. What is the item code? So this is my item code. Now, if you see that here, we will talk about this, some 3 buttons. This is very important. We look in the right hand side, there's the inventory item, sales item, purchase item. Now, what is the meaning of it? That is very, very important. Now, see some of the important information. Manufacturer. Who is the manufacturer of this item? You have so many manufacturers. If you want to define new, Tata Motors. Yeah. Who is the manufacturer? Manufacturer is Tata Motors. Shipping type. How are you going to ship it? Are you going to ship it by FedEx, UPS, rail, truck? This will come in the truck for us. Now here also there is something called serial number and batch number, and I put it none. We will keep it none right now. Some point of time we're going to talk about what is this serial and batch number is. This is important field. Then I go to purchasing data. In the purchasing data basically means it tells me preferred vendor. For this item, who is my preferred vendor? So I select it here, and I can choose the vendor I want. So say any vendor, Acme Associates. My supplier for this is Acme Associates. When I'm buying this item, this is my preferred vendor. What is the unit of measure? I say unit of measure is each. I'm buying in boxes, I'm buying in the bag, I'm buying in carton. How I'm buying? I'm buying a box, for example. So box is the unit of measure. I'm entering the sales unit of measure. How, if I'm selling this item, what is my sales unit of measure? If I'm sending my inventory unit of measure, I'm entering very small data, not everything. Very few data I'm entering right now. We're going to enter more data and we can understand all the fields. But right now, I'm entering a very, very simple master data. Planning method. There is something here called MRP. Now, this field MRP has a lot of significance. When we are doing MRP topic, we'll talk about it, we'll learn about it. Procurement method, whether we buy or whether we make it. We say we make it. Then a lot of other fields, minimum order quantity, lead time, tolerance days. Procurement. Now here we have a production, and there here in the production we have a 2, backflush and manual. Now what is this backflush and manual? This is very, very important. I use very twice. This has a significant impact how the manufacturing will be conducted. Some point of time when we are doing production, we will talk about this field again. Then we have item properties. We can choose what kind of item properties this item consists of. There is a remark field. If I want to put any kind of remark, basically means any kind of a comment. You can type whatever you want to type. It's a free text field. You can type anything at, many times you want to type whatever you want to type. Then we have also attachment. A lot of people want to attach a document, So like you attach a thing in an email, same way you can attach a document. So if you go over to browse, and if I go back here, then we can do a lot of, any kind of attachment I want to do. Then she said similarly, like we attach any document to an email, so we can attach any document as we. So I have attached this document, for example. Yeah. If I want to open this document, it will open this document also. So we can close, we can open. Okay. So, and then look at in the bottom. Look at the bottom. Add. So there is add button, and see the message in the bottom. FIG001 created successfully. So we have learned to create a simple vendor, a simple item. Okay. So we have created a simple item. If I want to search it, if I go to drop down, if I go back and I want to search that item which you have created, and we can search that item also. All these different items which you have created, all these different items are appearing here. So what we did, we have created this item, automotive component. This is FIG001. So what we did, we created a item. This item is FIG001. This is automotive component number 1. So we have created this document. We have learned how to create a simple document. Very simple material master. So we have learned how to create a simple item master data. So this is example of how we can create a simple vendor master. How it is used, sir? Can you show? Yeah, we'll talk about service as well. We have a whole module on service. Will it save the link up? Oh, yes, it will upload. Yeah. If this yellow error, how can we configure? No, not every field is configurable, right? Only certain field will be configurable. So whatever field is relevant for configuration, you can configure. Not every field is relevant for configuration. If I'm putting a description of an item, there is nothing to configure in it. It's a description. So not every field is and will be configurable. Only certain field would be configurable. If I define payment term, it is configurable. If you're putting item description, this is not configurable because it's a description, right? So that is what this basically means. Okay. So we put a configuration data in the system. So we talked about. Now there is a concept called marketing document. Okay. What is marketing document? Make a note of this term called marketing document. So make a note of this term called marketing document. Can I also make a reminder for that? Yes, there's a reminder. Marketing document. Make a note of that term called marketing document. So you getting a sales order is a marketing document. Purchasing, there's a marketing document. So if you go back here, so if you click on it, so these are all different: sales quotation, sales order, delivery, return, clear, customer invoice, credit memo. These are all marketing documents. If I go to purchasing, then these are different marketing documents: purchase request, purchase quotation, purchase order, good receipt, good return. So these are all different purchasing documents. So these purchasing documents, these sales orders and sales quotation, purchase orders, So all these different sales purchasing documents, they are all called different marketing documents. So these are different marketing documents. So all these purchasing documents, sales document. Now I would like you guys to make a note of this term which I highlighted. Make a note, take pen and paper. All documents in purchasing and sales share a similar structure. This is important concept. Similar structure. Okay, they share similar structure. Okay, so this is a similar structure. So that's a very important point. So that basically means the keyword here is structure. So all these different documents share similar structure. Structure is same. Now, what is the meaning of that? Is the structure. Structure basically means how data is being stored. Structure basically means how data is stored. So we have important statement here. All marketing document share similar structure. Similar structure, which basically means structure basically means how data is stored. Is in these documents. Okay, that is the common structure. Okay, so this is the marketing document structure. How do we log in? I showed how to log in yesterday. How do we log in? We showed that yesterday. We put that information in the system. Now here we have row types in a marketing document. Okay. So row types in marketing document. Row types basically means, so make a note of that statement, row type. Row types. Make a note of that. In marketing document, what kind of rows you can have. So let us say I want to create sales quotation. Okay. Create sales quotation. So I want to create exercise for creating sales quotation. How do we do that? So we go to sales here. And here we have a sales quotation. Okay. So if we go to sales quotation, and this is an example of a sales quotation. So let's say I'm creating, and we have a customer here, and there's a customer. So we are learning how to create a simple quotation. So enter the customer name, contact person. Then here we have item type. If you look at it here, in SAP, there are different functions. You see that form setting, query manager. If I go to form setting, and if I go to table format, you can choose. Look at this very carefully. Okay. So here we have a type, and see that. So you can look at this very carefully. Pay attention. So what item you want to make it visible, and what item I want to make it active. So I want to make this item type visible. I hit enter. So now this item type field appears. Yeah. I select the item. So what is the item? So we created item today, FIG001. FIG001. Okay. So I select this item, FIG001. So this is the item we entered. Then you have a quantity. We can enter the price. Okay. Then here we have a unit price. In the unit price, we can enter whatever the price, 250. Okay. So what we are doing, we are creating a simple quotation. We are creating a simple marketing document. Now look at it here. This is my customer, name of the customer, contact person Buddha Suraj, Indian rupees, name, place of supply Maharashtra. We have item number, item description, quantity, unit price, okay. And then we can put unit price. If there is a discount, if there is any tax code, what is in local currency. Okay. So we can put all that information here in the SAP system. And then we put a sales employee, Lata Darshan. This is my sales employee. Who is the owner of this? If I want to put any comment here, this is our test quotation. Okay. This is a total 250. If there is discount, no discount here. I can go to logistic. System automatically give me where I have to ship the product. I have to ship the product in Mumbai, in Fifth Avenue. I have to send the invoice in Chennai. So we can set up the invoice in Chennai. It is a language, English. We go to accounting. Here we can put in, any kind of comment. What's general ledger? What is my payment term? Incoming money. We can put a tax, electronic document, if any attachment. I can attach document here also. So like we did attachment there. If I want to attach a document here, so I can attach a document here as well. You can attach any kind of document. Okay. So here, and I double click on it. So we enter a document. So this is how we're going to enter a marketing document. So we need to press Control A. We need to press Control A for a new change. Yes. Yeah, you can watch video later on. We have a video for every class. You can watch video. So every class is video recorded, and we can do so we can have a video for each of them. Okay. So these are the different marketing documents. Now what we did, and we say that here, add. See the message in the bottom, add. See the message in the bottom, operation completed successfully. Okay. Operation completed successfully. What we did, we have created a sales quotation. We learn how to create a simple sales quotation. Example of a marketing document. Now I want to do another exercise. For example, yesterday we didn't do exercise. Today we are doing exercise. We're going to do exercise every day. These are simple exercises. So I want to do exercise, and I want to create a simple purchase quotation. How do we create a simple purchase quotation? Simple transaction. They're very, very, very simple. We're going to do them more complex, but we are starting with the simple, very basic. So sales quotation, purchase quotation, sales order, purchase order. They are very, very simple transactions. And we're going to do many, many more such transactions as well. Okay. So we go back here. We go to sales quotation. And then after that, we go to the purchase. And then we go to purchase quotation. So here is the logic. So if I want to create any sales document, you go in the sales module. Yeah. So any sales function you want to do, agreement, sales quotation, sales order, delivery, return, and all that, and customer invoice menu, and we're going to do all of them. Yeah. So all of them are part of sales document, is part of sales module. Purchase document is part of purchase module. So let us say I want to create a purchase quotation. So I click on the purchase quotation. I select the vendor, and this is the simple vendor here. Any vendor out of the box we're gonna create our vendor also. Item type is not visible. I want to again go back to my form setting. In the form setting, I want that field to be visible. I want this select item type. I said these are the field making visible, and I hit enter, and this item type field is visible now. And we put an item number. I say FIG 001, and then we can select that component, automatic component. Hit enter. What is the date is required? So I can put what date is required, what date it has been quoted. You can put a quoted date. What quantity is required? 1 piece is 10 pieces. What is quoted quantity? What is the price it is in quoted? $150 or 150 rupees. So, and all these different dates and all these different things we can enter in the system. Now, if you see here, this is my vendor, name of the vendor, contact person in the vendor, currency Indian rupees, place of supply Delhi. This is the buyer. Who is the buyer? Bina is the buyer. She is the person who is working. This person is owner. And if I go to the logistic, and then different tabs, you can see the logistic. So ship to. I want my vendor to supply to me in Nehru Place. So this is a second floor, Great Eastern Center, office number 70, Nehru Place. I want this product to be supplied in Nehru Place in the New Delhi. This is my pay to address. Then I go to accounting. Here we have a payment term, payment methods. I want to put any kind of a bank tax information. I want to do attachment the same way we did attachment. You can do attachment in any document. and I add here. So what we did, we have created a simple transaction. Operation completed successfully. So we can create marketing documents. Okay. That is what we need to do. Now, another thing here is there is something called draft document. Yeah. So make a note of that term called draft document. So please, everybody, make a note of it. That is called draft document. Now, what is this draft document basically mean? Same document as a draft before adding to database. Make a note of that. So what you can do is, if you are creating a document and if you're not sure about this document yet, you know, you want to verify something, you're not sure about price, you don't want to save it, and you want to make this as draft. So make a note of term called draft document. So how can we make these documents as draft? Okay. So that is what we want to talk about. Make a note of that term. So any of these documents, sales orders, sales quotation, customer invoice, vendor invoice, purchase quotation, purchase request, purchase order, and many more other documents, all of them can be saved in the draft. Draft is helpful. You can make changes before you finally save to the database. You're not sure. For example, in case of customer invoice, in the customer invoice, you enter the price, but you're not sure about the price yet. So you put 100 rupees per kilogram, but customer is not agreeing. You're still negotiating with the customer. So I can enter the invoice, I can save the data, but I'm not yet sure that this is the right final price. So we can save document as draft. So a lot of these documents can be saved in the draft. Normally customer invoice and all that, a lot of people do that. So if I go to sales order, if I select any document, so let's say I go to microchips, these are some basic transactions I'm doing. Yeah, we're going to do even more complex transactions as the time goes and more complex areas, but this is some of the basic transactions we are doing right now. Okay, then we put it here. I put my delivery date and all these different transactions. Now, if you go back here, look at my screen. I right click. When I right click, then it goes to save as draft. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So here we have save as draft. Okay. So here, this is the save as draft. See the message in the bottom. Draft document number 24 created. See the message in the bottom. Draft document 24 created. So we have created a draft document. Okay. So we did exercise and we created exercise of creating exercise for creating a simple sales quotation. These are very, very simple transactions in draft mode. Okay. Okay. So that is what this basically means. This is another exercise which we have done so far. Okay. There is eBay bill and all that. Yeah, we'll talk about eBay bill and all that as well. There is a whole GST and all that. We are doing some basic transactions. Okay. So we have done some of these basic transactions. We talked about draft transaction. We also save draft document. Then there is something called creating related document. Now see here, creating related document. Okay. Creating related document. Now make a note of this, creating related document. Now look at here, there is a sales quotation, and with this sales quotation, then there is a, then with the sales quotation, I can do sales order. Now when you have a sales quotation and after the customer say, yeah, that's fine, your quotation is good, I'm placing an order now. Then this is creating a sales document with reference. Now I do an exercise. In the exercise, I want to create with reference. Now in the create with reference, what we want to do? So first, we want to create sales quotation. And I want to create sales order with reference to sales quotation. Then we want to review document flow. In SAP, we call it document flow, or we also call relationship map. Okay. Now this is interesting. So make a note of these steps. So this is exercise. So this is another exercise for creating with the reference. Okay, so we want to do this exercise and see in the system, how do we do that? This is creating with the reference. So we have sales quotation, and after the sales quotation, I submitted this quotation to the customer. Customer calls back and say, yep, this quotation is fine, all is good, hanky-dory. Now I'm placing an order, and customer places an order. Now we created a sales order with reference to sales quotation. Yeah, so that is what we are doing. And a lot of these documents can be done with reference to each other. So how do we do it? So I go to sales quotation here. So this is sales quotation. I select my customer. So this is the customer button. So I go to drop down. I can choose a customer I want. I select a customer. And I select an item which we created today, FIG001. So we are using the same item, automotive component. Quantity I can enter. I can enter the price, whatever the price is, to $50. Yeah. And then after entering this, and then we add in view, I can save it. So see the message in the bottom. Quotation completed successfully. Now, a lot of people, you would be thinking that how you can print and all that. You see here, you can print this quotation. You can email this quotation also. You can do SMS to the customer. You can fax also. Email nowadays is very common that, okay, I created the email, I created this quotation in the system. Now customer says, okay, send it to me by email. You can configure SAP Business One to send this document to the customer using email. And if you want to see the print preview, if you want to print it, you can print also. If you're going to print, this is how the print quotation is going to look like. This is standard. This can be changed. You can define your logo, your address and all that, because your company will have your own logo and all that. And that is why we can define all of them here. And you can define, you see the print, select layout and the print. You can select different layouts. You can define different kind of layouts, many kind of different layouts, because you would like to see the print in different form, certain logo, address, this color, that color, and this is what I want to print. All of them can be defined. That is called layout. You see that here, print, layout, and the print. Okay. So bottom line, we created a quotation. Now we want to create a sales order. Customer like our price. Customer is happy. We want to create a sales order. What should we do? So we see in the bottom, create with reference. See, look at my cursor in the bottom, right hand side. In the bottom is a create sales order. Like create sales order. Now this open. Now see here, this is sales order. Now two different screens. This is sales quotation. Now it's system open another session. This is sales order. my customer, my material, my item description, quantity, price, everything which we entered is copied in it. You can change it if you want to, but we said, so we said add and view. Say yes. So now we are able to, system says this item is not available. Yes, this we'll talk about this also at some point of time. Okay. So operation completed successfully. Now, very interesting function which we have here in the right hand side, if you click, there is a relationship map. This is the relationship map, what we did. So we create a business partner. This is a business partner name. This is a quotation. This is a close. This is a quotation number. This is the date, 9/24. This is the price. We create a sales order. And then this is my okay. So here we have sales quotation, and then we have a sales order. This is, we call it creating this sales order is created with reference to in this document. Okay. That is what we see here, creating with reference to document. This is the relationship map. This we talked about, and we're going to create all these. So there's all these different documents. We sales order, then delivery. There are many documents. We have only created few. There are many documents. We're going to create them, and that is called a relationship map. Okay. We saw that. What is the relationship map? This is the relationship map. See that here? Relationship map. So we can see picture in a pictorial view. This is my quotation. This is my order. So this is the relationship map. Okay. And that is what we see. Now there is something called, now look at this, pay attention to this. There is something called reference and unrelated document. Pay attention. This is important. Reference and unrelated document. Unrelated document. Unrelated document. Unrelated document. Now, what is this basically means, unrelated document? So look at this example here. You create a credit memo to refund a customer for an item that breaks and you have paid for it. Because the credit memo was not made as a follow-on document to the invoice, there is no relationship regarding relationship map. So, for example, customer calls me. So here, customer is calling me, and here we have a credit memo. Yeah. So see that here, there's a credit memo. And I go to the last document. This is the credit memo which we have created. Now what I want to do, I want to see this credit memo which we have created to the customer. What was my invoice? So I can link this credit memo to that original invoice under which this customer material was supplied. So if I go to accounting tab here, there is something called reference document. This is the reference document. Now here in the reference document, I can choose document I want. I say, I want invoice. And I can choose that invoice document. That I ask the customer that, okay, I'm giving you this credit, that is fine. I'm giving you money back because you didn't like the product. You want the return refund. But what is the invoice? I can choose invoice number. So this is the invoice number, 480. And I update. So see that the one comes up here. So that basically means I have updated these documents. I have linked this credit memo to that document afterwards. Now see here, this got linked. So now this credit memo got linked to this AR invoice. This AR invoice was automatically get related to this delivery. This delivery got related to that sales order. So entire chain has been established. So now this credit memo number 25, which we created on so-and-so date, I've linked to this AR invoice. System know that for this custom invoice, this was my delivery doc. For this delivery doc, this was my sales order. Now, this is important for the customer because in the real world, if these returns, repair, refunds, and all that happening, you would like to know that these are taking place for what. So that is what we can have all these different transactions in the system. That is what we see here. That's why it is interesting. Reference an unrelated document. I didn't know that customer calls, he needs my money back. I give it to him, and then I can go back and link it subsequently. And that is helpful because you can get the entire chain of the documents. So it's a reference an unrealistic document. You can also do the drag. You can find an item. If you go to item master, you want to see different information. So you can see in the system. So let's say you're in credit memo. You can also see, apply transactions. You can see related activity. You can see inventory posting. You can see opening, closing remark. So a lot of other information is there. What inventory posting was done. So any document, if you let us say go to item master, and in the item master, if you want to see what kind of item was this, and if in any item I want to see my inventory status, so you can do a lot of follow next function. This is my item status. This item, nothing in stock. If I want to choose an item, I will select the item. I put it box, and here we select it. And if I go back, I want to see inventory status. I can see my inventory status. And we're going to talk about inventory and far more in detail. Summary. So what we have discussed in this, we discussed different master data like customer master, vendor master, item master. We created item master also. We talked about that in SAP business partner master data is the customer, vendor, and leads. We talked about an interesting phenomena that marketing document has a common structure, means sales orders and purchase orders and sales quotation and purchase quotation. Is structure is same. Is structure. The word here is structure. Structure means how system store information. That is called structure. We also talked about we can save the document to the draft mode also because we are not sure. I don't want to save it. I'm not ready. And maybe I've not discussed the price yet. I'm not finalized. So I don't want to save it unnecessarily unless my document has been finalized. I can put and save it into draft mode. And that exercise also we did. And we also talk about how we can do different, copy document, and we created a sales order with reference to a quotation. We did that as well. We talked about how we can link. So we talked about linking of the document. So how can we link? So we can talk about the linking as well, and how we can see the different reports, ad hoc report. We saw the list of different data which you can see in each of these documents. Okay, so now this is a good breaking point. So basic, because I don't want to start the new chapter. Is almost the time is over. So first of all, thank you all, and I appreciate you joining. Okay. So thank you very much. Can we mail a draft? You can do certain things. Thank you very much. Thank you. And so I appreciate. And then we talk tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. It was a great learning class. Thank you, Devasis. For the recording and all that, talk to the team. They will provide it to you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And with that, I conclude my class today. This is a good breaking point. We will continue tomorrow, same time, same place, same channel, All India Radio. Same channel, All India Radio. Thank you very much. Bye, guys. Please share the link. Yeah, talk to the team. Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.